Okay, classic Rashi Sikha Yishmaki Rashi. I'm going back to last week's parsha, which we just learned in Akev. V'hoyim shemoya tishmu al mitzvayse asher anoichem etzav eschem hayoyim la'aves Hashem alakeichem u'liyovdei b'chol avavchem u'b'chol nafshechem. Right? It's a pasuk we say every morning. Yeah, twice, and every afternoon, every evening. Look at the weather outside. As I look at the weather outside. V'nasatim metar artzachem bi'itoi. Yoyre umalkish, vasafta de genecha v'zeroshcha v'yitzorech. On and on and on. The brachas. Rashi says, "Menasati metaratzchem, asisa masha aleichem." You did your job. Afani asa masha I do my job. V'ite baleilas shelo yatrichu eschem. V'ite means the esak shomim is a night. So this was not matrich when you work in the field and it's raining. Amen. Simple Rashi. Sagt der Mizrachi, Rebbe Eliyahu Mizrachi, sagt also, what's bothering Rashi? The Rashi is saying, what's bothering Rashi? What's not good in the pasuk? When the pasuk says, Im shemoya tishmu, al mitzvosai. So then, what's bothering Rashi? So he says, B'sifrei. V'nidali, shekach pirushi, sherotza losas tam al kofla eschar hazeh, Yoyse mishana mekoymes. Sherei gabe im bechotoyse teleich, obes mitzvoyse tishmoyre, was ist amoyse? Ein kosov sham ele menasati gishmeichem biita. Avaloi sheyia yoyre umalkush, veloi sheyite in eise besotcha v'leventecha, veloi shetesa v'ata tigonlecha, scheroshe v'zirecha v'loyevecha, veloi shetoichel v'savota shtei apas. Wow. Shetei apas metzuye v'toich hamayayim. Here. Shekola la protim sume Parshas is. So the Mizrachi says that if you learn in Parshas Befukoisai, the brach is chiquito. It's very little. But here is a grande bracha. It's big. It's wow. It's so big. So Rashi wants to understand why is the bracha so big here in V'hoyim Shemoya Tishmu. Why is it so big? Why is it so big? Lefik Chomer Basis and Masha Aleichem. Afani Asa Masha Aleichem. Pirish Machach Shosis and Masha Aleichem Lasses. Shloi Lechem Lasses Yosim Zeh Shemartem Kol Mitzvaysim Ma'avim Bechibem. V'loi L'shum L'tachlis Acheres. Tzorech Amani Lasses and Mochem Masha Aleichem. Lasses Ad Shelo Yeshor Shum Tov V'Shelo Yasa Oisa Lochem. So that's what the Mizrachi is saying. What's bothering Rashi is that why the brachas in V'hoyim Shemoya is so big, so big. So the answer is that because you're doing so much good, Tzadavas Hashem, the Eibush is going to give you midah keneged midah so much good. That's also from a Sefrei V'Rashi Pirish Etam L'Fishakol B'Tzum B'Bateim. Shem Shum Odem Yoytzim Mebeise L'Shum Eisek Afilu B'Dovish Al-Chor. That Rashi says, why is it good for rain to come Friday night? Because people are home, they ate kugul, and then they go to bed. And besides if they go to Shalom Zocher. You speak only about the religious people, how about all the non-religious? Who cares? They're talking about the Eden that doing the mitzvahs. Yeah, exactly. I would say if this the Pedic said that Tanias Amr Balel Shabbosos Balel Reviyas. In Maseches Tainis it says that the rain is going to come Balel Shabbos and Wednesday night. Why Wednesday? There's two kechavim roim that are shirlet in Friday night and Wednesday night. Shabbos b'leil Shabbosos and Madim b'leil Reviyos. Enim yotzim b'batayim shelo yinosku. Because people are scared to go out of the house because they don't want to have a nezek to themselves.
They're telling you a kabbalistic stuff.
Yeah. He get his bas mochlas Foloshin Chachamim that they called the mazikim igeres bas mochlas the shema yishlam but the Sifrei lav dafka duodim b'leil reviyos. The Sifrei says Friday night, or maybe it's lav dafka Friday and Wednesday. Machat shebishleim yachat ein shum odem yoytze mibeisai, because in these 2 nights no one's going out of his house. Elachad noka, which is a little bit of a doichik in Rashi to say. That Rashi says B'leil Shabbos because Rashi didn't say Kegon B'leil Shabbos. Then Rashi said, "B'leil l'shabbosos." Umashe pidish Rashi nami l'fish hakel matzum b'teim ein rotzelem l'fish masurim l'sas b'shemeset. Elo b'nei sheyireim lotzes mib'b'teim b'nei yigeres bas mochlas. Again, it doesn't sound that much from Rashi. It sounds that Friday night there's no work to do. Everyone eats a kugel and they goes to bed. V'im toimah because shivne b'shabbos tainik. V'im toimah menolan l'razal l'midrash ochidil mamai b'itom b'eishem tzrichim l'zroim. ולא באש שאינם צריכים שאין מזיקים להם, שזו המשמעות של בעיתם. Maybe בעיתם לא, פשוט, whenever you need the rain, יש להם את מיתור דקרו. דאו קדוש שלי, דלא מלי בעיתם, why does it have to sit extra with בעיתם? It should say that you can get the שמייכם. משמע, כשם צריכים לכם, ואין אוכם ממעט ארצכם נפקה, המעט הצורך לארצכם. So what? So why does it have to say Oid Beitoi? Shamana l'drashu d'asas shafilu deishem ma'ilam l'zayim and akshem yored mel b'lei l'rvis b'lei shabosas kidei shelo yavat lo memalachti. Okay.
Rashi didn't know about coincidence. How come
Rashi, right, exactly. Good question. Tzipzei Chama really is saying the same thing as Mizrachi. He summarizes, says Rotzalem Alama Ksiv Gabe Mitzvah Zu Kach Tzor Kach Har Beschar. ונסעתם את ארצכם ליטו עירו מלכוש וגוימר ולעיל ובאשת בחוקויסאי כסיב ונסעתם את גשמיכם ליטם נשאו לוי ומתארץ ועשיסם מה שעליכם כלומר שעשיסם ככל מה שעליכם לעשות שלא לכם לעשות יויסם מזה שראי שמרתם מצויסם מאהבה וחיבה תכסיב לאהבה ולעובדה לקח אני אעשה מה שעלי ושאלם לסכם לסוחר הרבה. Summarize, very bekitzer, very simple. Rashi saying that there's a question the child is going to ask. In Parshas B'chukoisai, they're getting a little bracha. And here they're getting a huge bracha. Why? Because over here they're doing more, so they're getting more. The Maskil of David says, I'm going to skip the Maskil of David. The Rebbe asks that Pasha doesn't make sense. First of all, Rashi is only going on the words V'nasatim et ha'artzachem. If it really would bother him is all the brachas, he would have at least said V'goymer. And let's read the next piece. It says, "Im b'chukoisei teleichu v'smitzvoisei tishmarim v'sisam oisem and asati geshmechem v'yitam pnas ha'aretz yivola v'etz asod v'yitam piri." The first two psukim in b'chukoisei. Rashi says v'yitam v'shosh ein dereb and yodem lotzes k'gom b'leil shabbosos v'etz asod hein ilo nisrak v'asilu in lasas peiris. The Rebbe says everyone understands that ilo nisrak by giving peiris is the biggest bracha that could be. That's what Chazal say when Mashiach will come. And if you look at all the details in Rashi in this parsha, it's the bracha is much less. For example, when Asati Esa Besotcha, Rashi says that you're going to let the field open and the cows could graze, and 30 days before it's time to cut the wheat, you're going to take out the cows, and then it's going to grow. But it's not Iloni Sirak. Also, over here it says V'chalta V'savota in our parsha. Rashi says Berocha Metzuya Bepas Betoicha Ma'ayin. In Parshas B'chukoisei, Rashi says Oichel Kinma Lo Mizborek. It means that he's going to eat, and V'chalta V'savota means that he's going to eat.
The stomach is not going to feel.
Yeah, some people they eat and eat and eat. Like in America, the food they put double sugar, and they also refine the flour. And we don't realize when we're full. We eat double because we don't realize. So that the bracha is going to be that the wheat and the fruit in Eretz is going to be the type of fruit that will be bracha metzuya b'toichem ayin, that a person is going to feel I'm full. But in Parshas B'chukoisei it says a bigger bracha. Oichel kina v'um izborech. He eats a little tiny bit and he's already full. That's a bigger bracha. So the Rebbe says, and Bechlal, the Rebbe says that it's a pella, the Rashi in the two places says so different. Over here, when it says Beitoi Beleilos, Shaloy Atricho Echetsam, a second shot, he says Beleil Shabbosos. And why is it in B'chukoisei he says only Beleil Shabbosos? B'chlal, the Lashon here and there is so different. Like we speak about this many times, it's not the pshat. Rashi was very tired by night, and he wrote like this here, and every word by Rashi is B'diuk Otzar. So the Rebbe's pshat is like this. Okay, very nice. The Rebbe says even a child will notice that in B'chukoisei the brachas are huge, the opposite of all the mechoshim. Ilan Sarak, every Ilan Sarak that's growing here on as a giving fruits on East 17th Street, there is like
having a person that cannot have children.
Exactly. It's a mamish that way. Mamish that way. All of a sudden, Mashiach is going to come. Every Elon Sarak here on E17 is going to start growing fruit. It's crazy. That's unbelievable.
What type of fruit? I don't know.
Okay, and then that person eats ma'at, and he's full. You know how healthy we're going to be. They say with fish. If you have a fish tank, the worst thing of fish is if you give them too much to eat because they don't know how to stop eating.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and the saying in English is a hungry fish is a healthy fish. But the Mashiach will come. Human beings are going to eat a little bit, not much a little bit, and then they're full. Why do we keep on eating? Because we think we're hungry. Our brain tells us that we're still hungry. And we keep on eating and eating, because maybe some of us, like a goon from Eden, when that about 70, 80 years ago, didn't have what to eat. So we're like, we're traumatized. The trauma goes into the next Gilgul. And we're eating and eating and eating. Mashiach is going to come eat it. So a child says, why is it in Parshas the bracha is so big, and here the bracha is so small? So here, the bracha is smaller. And if you look in the words, over there it says, the words that the Rebbe says, mamish b'diuk, in the Chumash. Over there it says, "G'nesati gishmeichem b'itam." Your geshem. I'm going to give the geshem based on you. In our parsha it says, "Metar artzachem," based on your audits. How much the audits needs? The audits, it's apiteva. The audits needs a certain amount. I'm going to jump the gun, and before we continue, right away, that's why the Rebbe says that by us, Rashi says it'll only going to be Belel Shabbos. Why Belel Shabbos? It's not normal that only Belel Shabbos it rains and everything grows. That's Shaloi Kefi Ateva. So, but here we're talking Shaloi Kefi Ateva. What's good for you? In Parshas B'chut we're saying Menasati Gishmeichem B'itam Gishmeichem. What's good for you? And Rashi says only one pshat, Leila Shabbosis. Leila Shabbosis. But that's L'mayla Ma'ateva L'gamri. Shenkin, in our parsha, Elohim Shemoya, we're saying, Rashi says, Baleilas. It's not better that it every night, because if it rains by day while you're working in the field, it's very hard to work. You put on boots and it's raining. It's a gefährlich. So the Eibishter makes it good for the Eden that it should rain by night, not by day, but every night, Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, every night, not just. So the Rebbe says that's why the child is asking, why is it in B'chukosei the brachas are bigger and here the brachas are smaller? So the Arashi answers, it's mida keneged mida. Here, we're saying over here, Asisa mashaleichem, ani esa mashalai. You do your thing, I do my thing. Therefore, it's only apiteva. It's im shemoya tishmal mitzvoisai. Whatever the eretz needs, it's a small bracha. But in the Likkutei, Rashi says, "Amelim b'toira." He works extra hard. Amelim b'toira. Therefore, the bracha is huge. Alon is seraka giving. It's not metar artzachem b'itoy.
But it sounds like it's also going to be like depends on the person's levels of if the person did.
Well, I guess
it's like the same story before with the cow, with the month.
Yeah, 3 daggers in the month.
So you're saying it's going to be the same level,
I guess. But those Yidden that are Amelim B'Torah, so they're going to get unbelievable schar. The schar is that Mamish Yishmeichem is based on what you need, not what the field needs. We don't care what the field needs. A normal field needs more rain than just once a week. Go every farmer. That's why they have it today, a drip. The Israelis invented a drip system because the water goes slowly. And
not only that, they don't have enough water.
So you can't afford to go spritz like this.
Yeah.
So you're having a drip to this level.
And it's more healthy for the.
It's good. It's very good. Yeah. But to say that only once a week that you're going to put water in it'll be good enough, that's shaloi teva. So we're saying in b'chukoisai v'nasati gishmeichem. Basically, what's good for you. For you, it's good. Like when you go out in the street, you don't want it to rain because you don't want to get dirty, right? But if it's never going to rain, it's going to be terrible. So it's like, the Kohen Gadol used to say, in this tefillah that the Al Yikonos Lachanecha tefillah Oivre Derochem B'Shosh Oilam Tzrichim Kshavim. The Oivre Derochem are saying, please let it not rain. But the world needs rain. So Impuch we say it's taka crazy. It's going to rain only Friday night when everyone finished to go to the Shalom Zochers, and they came home and they went to sleep.
Sometimes we feel like that when you walk a long distance and the rain starts up.
You want the rain to stop.
Yeah, no, when the rain starts after you get home.
Yeah, it feels good. Feels good. It feels that you're daven good.
Yeah.
So the in Bechukoisai, Rashi says, Kigoim Belel Shabbos, only Belel Shabbos. And then we say it's Gishmeichem, the Geshem is based on you. Mashenkin of Hoyim Shemoya is because Hoyim Shemoya is less. And Rashi explains why is it less? Because Mida K'mei Mida, he did what the Eibishter said, the Eibishter does. Mida K'neged Mida. The truth is, the Gemara has a lot of. The Gemara in Brachas talks about it. The Gemara says, what's the difference? The first and second Parsha Shema. The Gemara says, Kam B'Sirot B'Zman She'Yisrael Oisem Ritzayna Shema Kam She'ein Oisem Ritzayna. But Rashi, that's not an answer for Rashi because over here it says, V'Hoyim Shemoya Tishmu. What are you going to say? Ein Oisem Ritzayna Shema Kam. So Chassidus says a pshat that Oisem Ritzayna Shema Kam is like Ishak Sheda Oisem Ritzayna Bailam. That he doesn't want to go learn, and she tells him, she pushes him to go to Beis Medrash and learn. That's the Rebbe's pshat. Oyser it's in Bible. She makes it. She have a rotzen chodesh. Oyser it's in no shelakodesh.
No, the question is what rotzen is considered a rotzen. It's his rotzen.
Yeah,
Also,
what Shmuel said.
Yeah,
we never said the other way around. Ishak Sheda Oyser it's in Bible. He should have a rotzen to go learn, but we don't say the other way around. So the Chassidus says that when Yidna Oysim Ritzayna Shamokim is B'chol Meidechel, Ksiris Nefesh. But the V'oyim Shemoya is only B'chol Avavcham Tal Nafshecham. It doesn't say Ma'oy. So they're not Oysim Ritzayna Shamokim, so it's a lesser darget. Rashi can't say such pshat. That's not a pshat. So Rashi is saying simple pshat. That the child is going to say, why is the Barachim V'oyim Shemoya less? She said, because Asisa Mashaleichem Ani Asa Mashalai. It's Beteva. You did your thing, I do my thing, which is Metarar whatever the Piteva is going to go very nicely. But Al Piteva, we're not going to say Iloni Serak. Are going to have, because Iloni Serak, to grow fruits, is Shaloya Piteva. That only Friday night it rains from 3 o'clock in the morning to 5, and that's enough, that's Shaloya Piteva. That a person eats Ma'at and he's full, that's Shaloya Piteva. If Elohim Shemaya is Apiteva, we say it rains every night. He eats a full meal. So the Rashi says because over here he didn't do mamish amelim b'toyra. He did his job.
They don't say nothing about the shtat. Say only the hasidim. If you do, yeah, but they don't say. I mean, mishtadel to do that. Nobody said not Mizrahi, not Rashi.
Right. So that's the Rebbe's pshat. This is a very nice pshat. And this way it reads very well over here when we say it says Rashi says the first pshat is be'itoy. What does it mean be'itoy? This mom when it's good when only the rain is in the street, not the people. So Rashi says baleilos. What does it mean baleilos? Shelo yatrichu eschem. Shouldn't be matriach. Elamai, what's bothering Rashi, if attack that's a pshat, why doesn't it say menasatim metar artzachem baleilos? Baleilos is just like good as bita. So therefore Rashi says davarach another pshat is take. Bita means belel shabbos. But in the Chukoisei, Rashi doesn't say two pshatim. He says right away, Be'ita means b'shosh ein de b'derev n'odem lotzes v'lel shabbos. Okay.
Be'ito is not Bishmanu?
Yeah, Zman shel hageshem. Shel hageshem nimtza b'chutz, v'nei odem lo nimtzeim b'chutz. Okay, very nice. So bottom line, what's bothering the child is why in Chukoisei the bracha is so big. And over here, the Baruch is small. And Rashi says over there, he did Hameil and Betoira. He did more. And over here, he did less. He did his job. So David does his job. So this has a big thing. Perek Tezvav and Tanya. Perek Tezvav and Tanya is a big thing. I've said this. I was just verbringing with the Shliach in Iceland. So I asked him, how about the shlichus? So he says, look, it's a tough shlichus because at the end of the day, everyone in the community are anti-Israel. Everyone in the community is considered themselves atheist. A mechitza, they hate a mechitza, meshita. So it's tough. He says I do the second day of Rosh Hashanah. I make a cultural event where we have a challah and apple dipped in honey. It's just but when we start the meal, it's still day outside because when we get start a meal, like at night. So I blow shofar, I blow 30 koilas, and then we have kiddush. So in 3 minutes, I did the mitzvah sayoim with the brachas and the kiddush. Says lately, I had a very successful event. I had an event. What is the Torah's the Jewish heritage? What is according to Jewish heritage? What is the responsibility that human beings have to protect the environment? Oh, it's because Jewish heritage agrees with my opinion. You go over that country, everywhere there's the flag, with all the colors. I brought Pasha B'Tmimos when I came. I got off the plane. I asked, what's this? Does this represent your country? They said, no, this represents, tolerance. So I said, well, it's everywhere. I see that it's abortion over there. Huh? Abortion. Yeah. Abortion over there? The government, like, so, not only the now, last time someone started, but yeah, exactly. Lamaya Tifla. So the ups and downs, you want to be a women and this and that. So it's your country, exactly. No, in Iceland. Everywhere you go, I see the rainbow, the flags. I thought maybe it's the national flag. So,
accept everybody, they should accept the Jew.
Yeah. But the Yidden and a link so I told him, look, from the Yidden are also the same thing. If it's maskim, what's comfortable with me, it goes with my shittas. That's what the Alter Rebbe says. It's avoda and lo avoda. It fits with my, with the way I've been working till now. It's a gate. If Alter Rebbe was really tries to attack and the avoda and Alter Rebbe is always pushing us, to take a step, something that I'm uncomfortable doing. And once I get comfortable, I take another step that's uncomfortable doing. But that you feel a lot in the Tanya, that push. But I said, you think, what do you think? Only the Yidden in Iceland are that way? The Yidden in Flatbush are not that way? There's a ain't big. It's no different. It's just that the Yidden in Flatbush, if they in the morning didn't put on tefillin, they get an unbelievable itch right over here. A very big itch here and a very big itch right over here. So I put on tefillin to take away the itch. But the Alter Rebbe says if they put on tefillin, they have shibud hamoyach ve'alei.
You would think they understand what it means.
So
any Israelis?
very few.
A lot of tourists.
I think the reason was first of all, everything's very expensive. There's no iskat chadila.
Opposite of Thailand.
And they advertise. It looks terrible and it sounds very pricey. When you get there, they give you a discount, and it really is 10 times better than they advertise. It's I don't know, funny mentality.
Like Shmulik,
Yeah. So Israelis don't go for that. They see a high sticker price, and but there's no false advertising. What you see is what you get. But I don't know. I think Israelis look for good deals. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. Also, Europe is not a very good place for Israelis right now. The day I got there, there was the shliach got pulled by the border control. They stopped. There was 2 people from Zaka, and they kept them. They almost kicked them out of the country. And shliach made a few phone calls. But so the shliach said, I don't think it's really Iceland though. First they went to Holland, and in Holland they had a problem. So it could be they put them into the system, but they're anti-Semites. So it's the emphasis is not. If you know where it's good for Israelis to go now, Russia, Kazakhstan, because the Russians, I don't know, they have a good deal with Israel. It's like the Russians at Sidreit, they may have a good deal with Israel, they have a deal with Iran. Iran's in war with Israel, they don't back Iran. That's Sidreit, no one can trust them anyways. But if you're American, you come to Russia, it's not safe. I wouldn't travel today to Russia with American.
Well, they just met up in Alaska, no?
Yeah, I'm not going to Russia. But if you have an Israeli passport, it's not bad. Israeli passport's not bad.
Right.
But if you go with Israeli passport around Europe, it's bad news. I don't know. It's terrible.
I love land in France, and they told the company, Free Palestine, the tower.
Yeah. Wow.
And also all the
France always been.
all the secure in France don't want to extend the
Visa.
visa. So in other words, can I have an office in this? I don't want the law in there.
Wow.
Well, wait for it. They were so bad. There was a hope by the time the Israel independence. They didn't want to give the submarines.
Yeah.
We had to steal it. So listen,
It's
אומרים, אותו דבר נשאר, אותו דבר יהיה.
In Toronto,
yeah.
was a movie, movie festival, right? And one Israeli general made a movie for
That would happen.
October. What happened? Now, all the Hamas had a camera that took videos.
Right.
So he collect videos and made nice. You're not allowed to show your movie here because you didn't get the okay from the Hamas that they let you show the
Copyrighted, the copyrighted,
It's copyright, yeah.
so they're showing they have like 7 different, anti-Israel films, so they don't have the pro-Israel film because they
But they have a right
from
to.
those that film the murder.
The murderers, yeah.
Wow.
Actually,
So anyway,
that's a
so the bottom line is that it's easy to look. You look at Eden like that Nebuch that are anti-Israel, but it's the same thing. Sometimes we are stuck in the same thing. When they hear, oh, Torah's maskim that you have to be careful not to melt the ice and the glaciers to raise the water levels in the Atlantic Ocean. Oh, but if the Torah says something else, if the Torah says that a man is a woman, the Vilshon Ishteren. But
I tell them all the time, take that and go to Iran and not see just a lot.
Exactly. But we're also the same. We're the same thing sometimes. What we're Tiva V'Regilusai, it's good. But the Alter Rebbe gives us a push and says it should be Yosef Tiva V'Regilusai. And it's hard.
The more we bring over there with the
Exactly. They wants to go a little extra. So that's the Rebbe says that's the lesson. That the lesson is that the Eibishter wants that the Chukoisei Telechu Takim. For Yid does what the Yid is a from Yid. So Takim, Hoim Shemayat Ishmael. It's very nice. But Bemes, the Eibishter wants it should be the Chukoisei Telechu. That a Yid should be Amela. Amela means Yosef Metiva V'Regilus. So l'chaim, that we should be able to get into the zone of doing Yosef Metiva V'Regilusai.
There was a big Leviah and we barrel wine.
Oh, barrel wine?
97.
So it must have also for a gunshot.
Yeah. I came this morning. I wanted to tell everybody. I went out of my head. Wendy had a baby on Shabbos. A baby boy, Baruch Hashem. Yeah, that's true.
The first is going to be on
Shabbos.
They're going to Shabbos.
Shabbos
Yeah,
Mabon.
we got a good moil.
Taking the whole show.
Where's the moil?
Yeah, there's a moil.
Oh, yeah, you don't fall. No, COVID Levi, but
Yeah. Levi did the oldest one.
the oldest one.
Yeah.
Only in Smachot.
Oh, Hashem.
That's כמה שעות?
5 boys. Chamsa.
Do over, that's all.
Abu.
Nigma group.
Abu.
Thank you for joining us.